Good evening, everyone watching globally and across Australia. This is a Thursday night, an evening with Psychic TV. I am your host, Michael Dimarco. Hi, Anna. Good to see you. Waiting for two shows to start. Oh, you're multitasking. Well, hopefully your priority is right here because this is where the fun is tonight. We have the beautiful, the gorgeous, and don't want to stroke her ego too much, but I'll let her do that. No, I'm joking. Absolutely lovable. A good friend of mine, Chantal Miranda, she is a gorgeous, gorgeous soul. I've learned a lot off her, and I know tonight you're going to do the same. She has a lot to share, a lot of wisdom, and I can't wait to pick her brains and get to know her on a much deeper level for you as well. So for those that are brand new who may not have watched last week's show, we don't do psychic readings on tonight's show. That is for Harry T on Saturday. So Harry does the show for psychic readings. Tonight, it's get to know our psychics on a deeper level. So when you do connect with them on the phones, you know a bit more information about them, and it helps you kind of to decide the type of readings that you want. But it's also an informative show as well. So it's not just getting to know Chantal on a deeper level, but it's also to discuss anything from mediumship to any sort of spiritual awakening type questions that you would like. I'll mute the TV show and listen to you guys tonight. I reckon that's a good choice, Anna. I think it's a very good choice to listen to us tonight. Hi, Cassie. Happy to have you here as well. Do share this page if you can, because ideally we would like to reach as many people as we possibly can. Because like I said, it's not just getting to know Chantal on a deeper level, but we also want you to ask, although we're not doing psychic readings, but any sort of general type readings that you would like to know in regards to, I don't know. It's up. They're your questions. So anything that you would like to know, but they're not personal psychic readings. It's more about cleansing, protecting, mediumship. I don't know. Like I said, they're your questions, so I can't make them up for you. Hi, Christine. Good to see you as there. Hi, Lisa. I did make the live. I did catch up last week. I do have two questions, but nothing to do with the reading. Yes. So definitely put your general questions in. Production in the background will star them, and we'll get to them throughout the night. But do say hello, do share. Thank you for being here tonight. This is our second show, so we obviously, did well that we're back. And I know a lot of you too. I actually want to thank everyone in general as a whole, because a lot of you have been sending not just me private messages, but also just through the social media messages. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that I am seeing your messages, and I am really grateful for the fact that you are enjoying tonight's format, that you're enjoying tonight's show, and that you have really been getting a lot out of and been looking forward to tonight's show. Hoping that production is still there. If you are and you can hear me, if you can just star some of the general questions that are coming through that we can get to later, that'd be great. I am going to actually just quickly mention, so we do have psychics currently online. So if you do want a reading, I would suggest waiting till after the show. But we do currently have Natalie Norton Baker, who's actually on a call, Amazing Grace and Benjamin, who are currently logged into psychictvinternational.com. But like I said, the fun is here tonight. Nita, Ness, Kerry, Wesley, great to see you all. Lisa, great to see you all jumping on. Production has just confirmed. Thank you to the beautiful Anne-Marie, who is helping us in the background. She will be starring your questions. Show comments on stage. Why am I getting... yeah, interesting. I just saw something new that hasn't been there before, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect anything. Anyway, I am going to bring the main attraction tonight. Please welcome to the stage, drumroll please, Chantal Miranda. Hello. And your mic's muted again. Love you got your mic muted. Your mic muted.
I did it again. I know.
You did it again.
I want to try how it feels to be quiet. Hello, darling. How are you?
I am doing well, and you should never be quiet, my love, because your voice is beautiful and needs to be heard.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I heard everything beautiful you said about me. I was like red, so thank you very much. I love you too.
No problem at all. Before we do get started, thank you to everyone that's bringing in your questions. Production, Anne-Marie, if you can hear me in the background, I don't know if you are starring because I'm not actually getting anything. And it does
I think
It's got
she is,
saying.
Michael. She did put something at the back saying that she's on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's saying to show comments on stage. And anyway, we might have some tech. Oh no, I am seeing some stuff coming through. Okay, cool. It's got a weird. There's a weird comment that I've never seen before, and I was wondering if that was blocking stuff. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Thank you for being here tonight. Those that may be or may not be familiar with us, really, I should probably say disclaimer, put your kids to bed because anything's possible with us tonight.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. In fact, you would actually be quite good at disclaimers considering the work that you do, but we'll get into that a bit later. So we'll start off with the general basic question. Who are you and how do you work as a psychic?
Well, my name is Chantal Miranda and I am 5th generation with psychic medium. How I work is, as a medium, you are naturally psychic intuitive. And pretty much starting at an early age, I thought that everybody could see spirit as well, but it was normal. Pretty much that's where it goes. Did you know?
Did you? Oh, you can if you want.
Sorry.
But did you know? No, I was waiting for more, but it's fine. Did you know when it was happening? Did you know what it was?
No, look, I had no idea that was mediumship. Look, to be quite honest, for me, it felt really comforting. I wasn't scared. It felt normal. It felt comforting. And I thought everybody had this. I never thought a big deal about it. The only time I knew that it was called medium, like probably 8 years ago.
No way.
Yeah. I used
so
to
what did you call it prior to, what did you call it prior to that? Just
it was like, look, I never called it medium. It was I used to call it not much really, or really paid attention to it. When I was younger, you grow up and things blur after a while, right? So when I was young, I was 6. I'll never forget when I heard someone playing with my toys in my room, and I remember me just feeling comfortable about it, comfort, or I would always do that play with no one role, but I knew there was someone. Does that make sense? I just couldn't explain it when you were little. And I always felt different to everybody else, to be quite honest. I always felt like an older soul without even knowing I was an older soul. I know all that now, but back then for me, it was just living. I was just being a kid.
And I asked Jackie this last week, and we asked you the same question. When you see the spirits, is it through third eye, or can you physically see them walking around like normal?
In the beginning, Michael, I used to see figures, and I'll be like turning around. You know, when you go like, "Did I just see that?" And then it was gone. Or I would hear my mum call me, and I'll be like, "But she's not here." And I heard my mum's clearly, "Chantal," you know, and I turned around, you know, and I'm like, "That's weird."
Did it ever scare you, like hearing?
No.
Like, okay, interesting.
Michael, it never scared me, but I have to be honest with everyone and all, you know, myself and everything. When I was 15, see, ever since I was young, even the girls at school, I'm still best friends with them, and they say, "Yeah, I remember you did all this. I remember you used to love all this stuff." But it comes naturally. You can't be born loving what you do. You know, when doctors, they love surgery, they are born loving what they do. And this is how it happened. I just loved anything that was paranormal and this. And guys, what happens to when we die, without even knowing that was a thing back then. I thought it was just my curiosity. And one day when I was 15, we were celebrating a friend from school's birthday. And we went to her house, and it was just 4 of us. And do not do this at home, please. I did a
I think I know. I was about to say, I've done it too. Yeah, disclaimer. Like, I think we've all done it, and we all say the same thing.
I
do not do this at home.
I honestly
no.
Don't.
Even if you know what you're doing, I still would not recommend it.
You open up a realm that you don't want to invite in. I mean, I do a lot of, because I go to spiritual church, and I do a lot of training, which is called trance. So we allow spirit to come through. But that's with all other mediums who are trained. They're all understanding, and everything is love and light. So we all, it's different. to when you're a teenager and you want to be curious and do things without having real knowledge of the consequences later. So I was 15 years old and we did the glass and all that stuff, okay? Kids are back. Are the kids are in bed? Okay, I shit you not. The glass went crazy, all over. And I thought, this is amazing, this is cool. But the other girls, got really scared. They shit themselves. And we finally got someone, and it spelled, I don't want to get into too much details, but it spelled one of the girls' brother who passed away at a younger age. And we all got emotional. And then he said what his favourite toy was, and only she knew that. So then the glass started going around and around and around until it broke. We didn't shut that gate. We all screamed and went, ah! Went to bed. It was the worst night ever. My best friend, Diana, we're still best friends till today, she woke up sweating. Her clothes, you're not going to believe this, but I swear on my grandchildren, torn. Okay, like
her actual clothes,
her pajamas at the back. Yeah, her nightie. Yeah, and till today she has forgiven me for that. But we were all in it. We were all curious. So hey, thank you for forgiving me. My God, you were in it too. But anyway, now look, I had. After that happened, I had really bad dreams. I wasn't well. Things were happening where I was living in my own room. Windows were shaking. Look, it was really not a fun thing until one day I remember that I had enough and I just woke up and I started saying the Lord's Prayer. And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, get out of here. And I started just going crazy with all the Lord's Prayer. I went to a nun school. I never remembered the Lord's Prayer, but gee, I remembered that night, each and one of them, even the rosary.
Let me ask you, how did that night change you personally?
I slept like an angel, a big weight off my shoulders, and I was.
Oh, so no, let's rewind. So that night you did the seance, and then all that shit that started happening.
Yeah.
And you knew that you had opened up a portal. You knew he had made a mistake. Yeah. How did that change you from that moment onward?
I can't remember everything when I was 15, but it changed me now. Is never go back to those things. Never do stuff that you don't know. And then it changed me in the fact that there is good and there is evil. There is bad stuff out there. So it's not all about the love and light. It's a yin and yang life. You've got the good and the bad, and that's how it goes. Okay. So what I learned, No, go on.
I was going to say, with everything that you have learned up until this point, because I know you've got, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've got a counselling. You're a counsellor as well, aren't you? Correct. So with the work that you've done and everything that you've learned, did that kind of how did you end up down that path? Is that because of just naturally what you do?
Then later on in life, I'm glad now that I'm older, I did do what I did because I can actually understand both worlds. It's not just the good there is, and it's made me more wary about don't muck around with things you don't know, because there is stuff out there. Now with the spiritual counselling, growing up, then later on in life, and I said the Lord's Prayer, I had the most beautiful sleep that night. It was like all angels around me, and that was my turning part. That was my turning journey. Not so much into, I knew things were going to happen before they happened, but I couldn't explain why. Michael, it was just intuitively that I knew I was going to travel, and then the next thing you know, I was traveling. I did backpacking. I knew I was going to get married and have 4 kids, and then I was going to be divorced. Hello, I got married, had 4 kids, and I was divorced. So I knew a lot of things of my life. I knew I was going to be a nurse, and I did. I became a palliative care, working with aged care, and then I knew all those things were going to happen. The only thing I didn't know was how or when. But when they did happen, it was like, I know, it was really what happened.
So it came obviously very natural for you.
Absolutely. My mother never protected that for me because she wanted me to be, are you ready for it? A normal child. Okay.
I was actually about to pause there for a second. I was actually about to ask you, so finish off what you're going to say, but my next question to you was, did you have support? Obviously, being a European background, so I'm Italian, you've got your background as well. How was that received, telling your family, hey, I'm a psychic? Because as you would know, it's not really supportive traditionally,
No,
culturally.
like my dad's full Catholic and my mum is more Buddhist. She's a
Oh,
Catholic Buddhist. She's very, very into the chakras and love and energy and vibrations. Very cool, calm, collected woman. I love my mum to death and my dad too. And they are living with me here at the moment, which is wonderful. And the thing is that when shit hit the fan for me, mum never wanted to tell me that my grandmother was a spiritualist and she was a medium, and her grandmother, and it went back because they wanted me to be normal. How and what is normal? Okay, back then. Now, you put me in a Catholic nun school and you want me to be normal when I go to church and see dead people waiting for the funeral, right? And I was 13 in year 7. Madonna mia, how do you talk to someone about that? They look at you and go, you're weird. And yeah, that's why I always felt different. I never felt I fitted in. You know, I was the one that people would bully, and then I bullied back later on in life. I just got courage, and I go, yeah, you know, but I wasn't always different. I never was into gossip. I never was into big groups of, you know, all the girls talking together. I could feel their energy. You know, it was like really off-putting, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I understand that now, Michael, because I'm older and I've studied all this, and everything what happened in my early stages in life, I look back and go, that makes sense. A lot of it makes sense now. So my thing is, you need to go through it to understand it later, you know.
I
And
was, I was just about to say, for someone who potentially, and I'm sure it happens to this day, who's gone through what you've gone through in regards to the bullying and the confusion and the whatnot. Yeah, what
yeah,
would you
not
say to that
really.
person? Or what would you say to the younger Chantal?
You know, the younger Chantal is, mate, you are beautiful and you have got a gift that one day you're going to help others who have gone exactly through what you went through. You don't need to be validated by no one but yourself. Learn to love you, yourself, and that's it. That's all that matters. Um, and yeah, that's what I will say, pretty much.
I love that. We've got some amazing questions coming through that I'm
Oh,
going to throw at
definitely.
you before I
Okay.
continue to pick your brains. So those that are jumping on, thank you so much. We're not doing psychic readings tonight. That is for Saturday with Harry T. But we are accepting any sort of generalized spiritual questions that you would like to ask Miranda while we've got her.
Chantal.
Chantel, sorry. My head is, I'm getting all these sort of things coming through. But Lisa has actually asked a quite an interesting question. See if you can answer that one. Loved ones that have passed, are they aware of what they have said and how they behaved has affected the ones they've left behind?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. Absolutely. Let me just rephrase a little bit going back, and it's going to answer your question. When it hit to the top for me that I was actually a medium, what I was saying, and gifted and this and that, um, when I start doing mediumship, my first thing I do is I need to give you validation. So I will describe who they were, how they lived in the physical form. That's what they give me. I used to see them whenever you asked me that question, but now I just know, I feel more than anything, and I just know. But you go through different laps in your life, and most of the time, yes, they do acknowledge how they live their life here physically, and they look it back like a movie, and they realize, gee, I wasted my time fighting all the time, gossiping, worried about money, and not enjoyed life for what it was, which is love with family. And you can balance, you know, you can work and play. And yeah, they do. They do recognize mistakes. They do recognize I've mistreated you where I should have been loving you. And they come, to apologize. But that doesn't mean that you need to forgive if you don't want to. That's you. That's at your court. I honestly say, forgive them for their ignorances, so you can move on.
Ah,
It's simple,
okay.
isn't it? Yeah, because they
Which,
didn't know better. Most people and most spirits. It's funny, when they come through, they didn't know anything better because they were treated like that by their grandparents, and it's a chain. And You are the one to break that negative change or that pattern that doesn't sit well within the family. If you're a drinker, if you're whatever it may be that you grew up saying, I never want to do this, you're the one that breaks that chain.
And that's so important too, because a lot of us either forget that or don't know how to do that or struggle to actually be able to do that. And I think, as you said before about forgiveness, I myself have even struggled with that with some people, saying like forgiving the person for what they have done and things like that. It can be hard, but it's once you find a way to be able to do that, it's what happens after is so beautiful.
It's completely life changing. It's a weight off your shoulders. You become to realize who you are as a person, not how they want it or perceive to make you feel. Because the more you carry that, the more you're giving them your energy to allow them to make you feel supposedly what they did to you or said to you. Remember that if you forgive them, you're not forgiving them for hurting you. You're forgiving them for their ignorance. And you thank them. That's even another one that people go, I'm not going to thank them. But you thank them because without their pain or hurt, you wouldn't know who you are today, nor would you have known the strength you have. Because you're
100%. How would you sort of, because I know, and it's probably psychically, I can already sense people, and you probably get this a lot yourself. It's like, well, how do I do that? Because I have so much anger, I have so much whatever, I can't do it. What suggestion do you have to someone to be able to forgive and say thank you? Like how would you help someone to do that?
How is it benefiting you holding on to it? So every time you remember that pain, what do you feel in the stomach? Anxiety? Is it worth holding on to that? So how is that making you feel every time you remember? So the more you say it gives me anxiety, it gives me anger, yeah, you're using that energy on something that's already happened, so you're feeding it. Is it worth your pain? Is it worth for you to hold on to it?
Is it worth your time? Yeah, your energy, your time, everything. That is, I love how simple you just said that. Is it worth it? Like, it couldn't be any more easier than that. I actually thank you.
You're very welcome. That'll be $258,000.
Do you take PayPal?
Yes, four-way pay.
I absolutely love that. I love that. Is there in your many, many years of experience, has there been a reading that you still remember today, and can you talk about it, that made you good or bad? But is there something that has there been that one reading?
Oh, yep, there has been, and I'm very grateful for that reading because it's made me. I've had to. So I'll just tell you the negative one and the good one. And the reason why it's important to yet again define between the black and white. It's really important because that's when, for the future readers, people that want to be readers, people who love all this, you need to sometimes face the ugly and the beautiful, and you have to make define what's good and what's not, because you can't go by what just people tell you. So one reading I had in Darwin, because I did travel a lot, okay, Michael, I traveled to where people don't go, the outback, Catherine, and worked a lot with the Indigenous community. And I had this lady that came, and there was something about her that made me sick in the stomach. But I didn't know that was the lady that was making me sick. I thought whatever I had was making me sick. And she sat there really rough. There's a lot of rough, and I don't care. But anyway, she said to me, yeah, hi, I just want to know if my partner's going to stay with me. He's seen it to stay. And it was all about the partners, her partner. Now, what I saw around her were a lot of little kids. And they were all with red hands. And I'm like, have you got kids? Are your kids coming? I've got a lot of kids. And she goes, no, I don't want to talk about kids. And she laughed, like trying to laugh that out. Before you know it, I was like, and I had, that little gastro vomit in your mouth. And I had to run, that bottle. I had to run to the toilet. The lady that was selling the tickets to get readings, she came with me, and they started saying, what's wrong? And I go, that lady, there's something hanging around that lady like flies. It wasn't right. It was really bad. I couldn't continue, but I didn't know how to say, I can't read you. Okay, so I ended up reading, and no, the guy wasn't going to stay with her. And then her other friend came and she said, I heard you say something about the children love. And I said, yeah. Then I found out that she actually murdered her kids, and she came for a reading to know if she was going to stay with that boyfriend. That was more interesting for her. And that's
No
the red
words.
hand.
Wow.
No words. I learned to listen to my gut feeling. If I cannot read for you, I'm going to say, sorry, I can't do your reading. I don't need your money. See ya. So I learned to protect myself. So that stayed with me. Learn how to say, no, I can't do you. No, I'm not going to do your reading if it doesn't feel right. Do not be afraid. The other reading I had was a beautiful man who came. It was just so beautiful. He came to wish his daughter a happy birthday, and he sang her favorite song. And the fact, it was the whole family, actually, the whole family that I did a reading for. And he did I think it was about four people. So it was the wife and the two kids. So 3. So he sang a song that only she knew would have been him. And then he gave another message to his son, all in the same go, and then another private message to his wife that only she would have known. It was the most beautiful, profounding reading that I had ever done, that I felt that warmth. Do you know what I mean? That warmth. And he had just died that morning.
Wow.
I don't know, because people normally say you got to wait 6 months, and I agree that, because you got to grieve. They also grieve the life they had here. So, but I was like, he just passed away this morning, and I'm like, anyone reading already? I think they just needed that comfort. And I felt his energy, like so at ease, so at peace. It was just so profound, and they all felt it too. We all felt it together in that room.
Perfect. I do need to move on to, we're actually having some beautiful questions coming through from
sorry.
from our
I can talk forever.
Oh, I know. That's fine. I could listen to you forever. And that's the whole point of the show, is to get to know you personally. But the other half of the show is to also educate as much as we can with our viewers that want to come on and learn. So it's
David?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry,
David. So I called you a different name, so that's fine. We're even now.
No worries, Michael. Now, the main purpose, and I'm going to say how I became more of a psychic medium, was 8 years ago. I had someone that was close to me pass away, and he knew I was a medium, and he always used to say, because I used to bring his grandfather, this is at work. I worked in palliative care, so I could see spirits all the time, but I thought it was awesome. I thought it was all great. But he said, you're a medium. When he passed away, it was like he's the one that kicked my butt to continue this job, to continue with what I'm doing. And that is when I started studying counselling and welfare. And I've got, graduated and I diploma. So now I combine the spiritual counselling with psychic medium. And that's how it all became. Does that make sense?
It does. And we'll get to the questions, because I know production is kind of encouraging me to bring out some questions. We're definitely going to do that, but I've just got a quick question for you, and that applies to anyone who's watching as well. For someone who has the gift or has gone through similar to what you've gone through, or just kind of developing or kind of learning and things like that, say they don't necessarily have the full support, what would you suggest to someone to be able to educate or learn their gift and to be able to grow it in a safe, sort of supportive way if they maybe don't have it at home?
Yeah. 1, don't rush yourself, okay? This gift comes at its time, not at your watch, okay? The other one is try and journal a lot what you're experiencing. Go to the library and look at books, read books, find books that feel that's connected to you. The thing that you don't do is listen to everyone, because it's going to drive you mad.
Or do a seance.
Or do a seance. Or a Ouija board,
or
whatever.
a Ouija board, which is kind of the same. People are absolutely loving tonight's show. Jane, our CEO, is watching and is loving it as well. I've just got a personal text from her, so thank you, Jane. She's complimenting on how wonderful tonight is. Everyone is absolutely loving tonight's show. Loving you as well. How can they not? I mean, it's, Chantal Miranda.
Oh.
Now I'm going to randomly, I got your name right too, which is good. Oh God, I don't even know. There's so many actually really great questions, and we may not even actually get to all of them because I was not expecting the influx. So I'm trying to just really pick ones that I think a lot are going to really benefit from and multitask at the same time. I'm going to jump down, actually. I will go back to the top of the list, but I actually really want to know what your thoughts on this. So Veronica has asked, could you talk about what thinning of the veil means, if you can? And hope it's definitely not a stupid question, but
no question stupid. I didn't know what the veil was too. And every time they said the veil, I pictured someone getting married and the veil. But no.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like a wedding thing, but it's not. The veil is another form of saying something. So, a veil you can literally see through, all right? So the bride's wearing the veil, she can see through, but not clearly. That is all what we are allowed to see, just what we can see. If we see more, then we're dead, right? So there are particular things that spirit will show us, and that in itself give gratitude because it's a gift already, if that makes sense. So a veil is pretty much they show you just what you need to see, not too much, not too little.
Exactly.
And go on.
Yeah, no, go on. What were you going to say?
It's very thin. It's very, very, very light. It's like very thin. You can, okay, that's all.
No, it's funny because people were saying, I was just staring at that question. Anna has just said, I was just staring at that question for a while. I was too, actually, and that's why I thought I ought to bring it up because I was really drawn to.
All of us are here very.
I know, we're all psychic. Cassie has said, holding on to grudges can hurt your soul, definitely. Madeline has said the art of letting go, enabling and allowing yourself to heal by letting them go and allowing yourself the time to heal. And I think that's really important too, is time. You know what I mean? It's not going to be overnight as much as we would love it to. And as hard as it is for people to be patient, we have to give ourselves the gift of time to be able to sort of move on and there's a lot of us put rules and expectations on when, but just let it happen. Obviously, don't get stuck in the emotion of it. Like, you don't want to be stuck in the grief forever. We do need to move on, but it's still allowing yourself to be human, I think.
100%. And just remember that time is actually molding your soul and your inner strength, okay? Because we all have a different time frame. The universe doesn't define you with time. It defines you by experiences. So you most probably need to go through a little bit more of an experience to go through it, to get to the other side.
Exactly. I got just so much I could learn from you. Did you, I'm just reading everyone's comments. I'm just getting lost in just the energy. It's a very calming sort of energy.
Michael, get your act together.
I know. I need a few slaps across the face with consent. People are loving the energy.
Should I grab my glove? You know, when back in the days, I'll take the glove and slap you.
No, I got the wooden spoon. You're one
of them.
Yeah, well, it's paid off in my day life, but that's for a different show. Cassie has. If you those that watch me know that, hey, I don't go on script. Cassie has, you've got quite a few questions, Casey. So I'm just kind of quickly reading just to make sure it is appropriate to bring up as well. I'm going to just do this one and go for it. Can I ask, if my gut instinct tells me something, should I listen to it more than I have been giving people than I have been? No, should listen to it more than I have been giving people more chances than I should after losing my beloved brother last November. It has changed me in so many ways. I have my guard up to protect my peace at all costs. Is that a bad thing? So that's kind of quite a detailed question there, but I think I already know kind of what you're going to say, but it's more like basically trusting the gut instinct there.
100%, Cassie. And I'm sorry for the loss of your brother. And you're right, he's always with you. People, telling you, is that what you said? The gut's always going to be the biggest strength that you have. That's your solar plexus. We're all born with that strong feeling and that intuitive, right in the gut. And that's the one that gives you butterfly when something amazing is going to happen. And that's the one that gives you anxiety when something bad's going to happen. So always listen to your gut. That's you.
How do we know? How do we know the difference? How do we know the difference
Okay.
between our intuitive gut and, say, our mind telling us, you know, whatever? Like, how do we know that it's spiritual?
Okay, so when you're constantly questioning it, then that's not your spirit guide. That's you're straight away using your own mind. Okay, so out of nowhere, if you know that not to cross the road because there's a car coming, and you don't cross the road, and the car goes by, and you go, "Wow, I'm so glad I listened to my gut." It is a strong pull to the gut. When you're excited and you get the butterflies, you get tingles. You get really excited. Does that make sense? And when you get that, like, do it, it makes you pretty much sick. It's like, nah, it's just so, it's strong. It's telling me not to. The more you listen to it, the stronger you're going to start feeling and go through your gut.
And I think too, I don't know about you, but I know with me, it's almost like a whole body experience too. It's not just gut, like you feel it head to toe, like you just.
That's right there in the gut, and then it spreads to the heart. You get like your heart palpitates, your hands get sweaty, and then you start picturing, okay? And when you start picturing, you are pretty much remote viewing what can happen. You are seeing it, foreseeing it, what can happen. But that's the next level of psychically, if you want to put it that way. Does that make sense?
100%. And I always say too, I say this to my clients as well, is like anything, it's a muscle. It's got to be exercised and worked on. And the more you work on it, the stronger it's going to become.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to, I wasn't born knowing everything. I learned. I go, okay.
Well, actually, that was funny. You must be psychic, because my actual question to you was, what support did you have? Like, how did you learn the gifts that you learned? Like, how did you learn to not only know to what it was, but how to control it? Did you have that support?
My support was my spirit guides. I felt a lot of times, and I said, "Oh, I didn't listen," but I did. I did have support. I went and I did a course for mediums, and I got involved a lot in podcasts. And what I learned was how to work with what I have, so I don't go crazy. So I learned to slow the mind. I learned to turn off when I was doing mediumship, and it was real, physical. Okay, I'm with my family now. See you later. So I learned how to turn the switch off. Work for mediumship and psychic, and then off. Because I also need to live a life. Does that make sense? So learning how to use your skills, it teaches you how to protect your own chakras, protect your energy from negative people, protection, and be able to do what you do. Because like you worked there last year. I do a lot of expos, and I also do a lot of private family readings, like big families. And I also do events like on stage. Can you imagine if I wasn't protected or cleanse my energy going home with all this spirit?
Oh, can't even imagine. So how do you do that? How do you cleanse and protect yourself?
I always picture myself in the white light, always. Okay, and I picture and I bring in all my spirit guides. I feel it in my heart that I am protected. And inside my balloon, like the beautiful where it says it's psychic TV, see that gold circle? That's the circle, and inside it's light, because gold is the highest beam of spirit light. That is why we have all these beautiful Buddhas, Jesus halo, it's gold. Anything that's high protection is always gold. Okay? And I always say, bounce back love to those who have sent it to us. Like anything negative, unwanting, including gestures. Because, when people, whatever it is, bounce back love to them. Everything you do comes back to you. And that's how I protect myself. And then I just say, I believe a lot. I believe in God. I believe in the great divine. But I say my own prayers as well to protect me. When I start feeling uncomfortable, which I haven't for a long, many years, I don't continue. I don't do it. I don't know. It's me first. Don't try and challenge that uncomfortable feeling and think, no, that's just my brain. Listen to it. So learning from not only books, not only from great teachers, but from falling myself. and then getting back up.
And I think, that's such a big thing is like the biggest lesson you're going to learn is the mistakes that you make along the way,
Absolutely.
And I think
Absolutely.
too, like something I just want to quickly point out, religion, because there might be people watching that don't maybe believe in God or Christianity and things like that. So I think we need to stress that, religion doesn't play a part in how you are as a gift or how you are. It doesn't matter who you believe in or what God you believe in. I just sort of want to point that out because in case people are like, oh, well, I don't believe in God, so
no, I've got
is this going to work?
My mum's a Buddhist. She's German, Spanish. She doesn't, anyway, but she just loves it. Yeah. She follows the culture. I've got friends who, even my brother-in-law, he's one that don't believe in nothing. I don't care. But at the end of the day, if your intentions are good, for good, then I'm a friend for you. But anyone that has bad intentions or to hurt anyone, for me, that's not, So whatever religion you're in, for me, it's just a name that you want to feel connected to. But the great
Perfect. 100%. And trusting. I think people forget to trust yourself. I
was going to say who. But trust your journey and trust yourself.
And it does take practice, again, like we spoke about the muscle, and it takes work. You may not trust yourself straight away, but the more you work on it, the more you start to believe, the more you start to listen to your intuition, it does get easier. What is it? They say it takes, was it 14 days to create a habit and 28 days to keep it or something like that? What's the saying?
No, you got the wrong person.
Maybe I just made it.
Rome wasn't built in a day. All right, there you go.
I know it takes... obviously, because if you're doing because I think if you do like rehab or whatever, they put you in for 28 days to keep the habit broken.
Oh, okay. But, is that where you went for your drinking?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Your drinking water?
No, it didn't work. I didn't make it the 20. But I'm pretty sure it takes like 14 days to create a habit and then 28 days to keep it or something. I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying now. Yes, I've heard of that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I'm sure someone will know about it. But
come on, you work in counselling. You should know.
I should know it, and I don't. That's so embarrassing.
No, you do. You've just, Anyway, there's actually a question that I'm going to...
Go on.
I'm pretty sure it's 14 days. Anyway, whatever. Do something for 14 days and see if it works. Make sure it's healthy. Got to be careful what I'm saying here. There is a question I'm going to give you that's actually a question that will obviously apply to a lot of people, including me personally. So I'm going to give you the question, and then I'm going to let you know my experience with this because I actually have this same question. Now, it's from Amanda, and she said, I saw spirit when I was a child. Can I learn to do that again?
Hi, Amanda. How amazing. It's never gone. It's never gone. It's always been there. I don't know if you learn it. It's they give you the little gift. It's a visitation. It's not a matter of learning. You can meditate. You can learn. You can call them, and you will probably see them through your third eye if that's already open. That happened to me when I was little too. Is this what's going to happen to you, Michael? Like I saw and I thought they were there and then they were gone. And then it happened to me for a long, till I was 13, I think. On and off, on and off, on and off. Yeah. But no, it's not like it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it's just interesting when I saw that question because I didn't realize until probably a few years ago that when I was a child, I don't know how old, maybe 8 or 7, I used to play with 2 little boys. Again, keeping this clean, I am gay, but it was consent. But probably the wrong choice of words. But I used to actually, as a child, play with and speak to 2 little boys that had passed in the place that I was living in. Now, I had no idea there was spirit. I had no idea they were even, it could have been through my third eye or whatever. I don't know it now. Like looking back, I couldn't tell you, but I thought they were there. I thought they came to visit. And we would play, and my mum would say you would speak in a very old English, not accent but language, like old, like we're talking 18th century type. Like she goes, I couldn't believe it. You were speaking almost another language, but it was old English. And I have no memory of that. I remember what's interesting, I can't picture these boys, but I remember playing with them. Like I have no image of
Not
what they looked
recognition, yeah.
like, but I
Yeah.
remember sitting in my room playing with the toys. And obviously that was my mediumship gift, which I have lost along the way, because now working as a psychic and as an empath and working on energy, I actually don't really sort of say spirit, and I don't call myself a medium because I suppose aren't confident enough that I can always bring through someone that has passed.
Yeah.
So I just stick to more empath intuitive readings. So that's why that question was kind of interesting, because I've now been kind of going down this journey myself of, do I want to open up, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm not ready, and that could play a part, I'm guessing, as well, as if you're not ready.
100%, Michael. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. Don't force yourself. Let it happen natural. If you are open
And
to
that
it, it will be natural. And like I said earlier, it's not going to be on our watch. It's going to be on Spirit's watch. It's going to be on, the universe. They know. They know when we're ready. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that applies to a lot of people who, like the last question we just got in regards to how do I bring that back? It's like, well, if you feel like you're ready, I suppose, then, let it happen,
Because when we're little, Michael, it's like the animals. We're very innocent. So we're not overthinking the situation. So our minds, our energy is not like it is now. So, we sometimes block. Like, when people say to me, I can't, my husband passed away, I can't feel him, I don't see him in dreams, but everybody else does. The more you want it, the less you're going to get it, because it's that frequency energy of the vibration. And we talked about the veil earlier. It's such a thin, it's so thin, that little in between where spirit come through, because that's what they are. It's just a thin little energy, and then you pick that up. So when we're little, our minds, we're not worried about paying bills. We're not worried about cooking. We're not so worried about wanting to see them. We're just so simple. And that's why it's open. And then during life, we do life. It's always there, but we're not, connected as much as what we were when we were little. It happens again when you go older. And then when you get older, you look back and go, oh, that's what happened to me when I was 7. So what I learned was that spirit come and give you a little nudge early, because you will remember later on in life. And then you can compare it. Like now, I remember those kids, but I don't remember them much, but I do recall. So do you understand? It's giving you like, hey, we're back, So at the end of the day, Michael, we're back. At the end of the day, you need to be comfortable with your own strength, not trying to be like anyone else but yourself.
I think, and that's important too. And I think you'll agree in that when I speak to like newer up and coming kind of psychics, in a sense, it's good to have mentors. It's good to look up to someone. I mean, you're someone that I look up to myself personally. But one thing that, no, you're welcome. And I mean that. And I think one thing that people who might be new to the field that might be watching now, it's good to remember that it's great to look up, but never compare, because you're never going to be that person.
You are unique. You are who you are. You are yourself. And you're going to have, look, some people say, oh, I hear all the time the voices. I don't. I just know. I don't know how. But I hear it through my third eye. And I learned what that meant. I used to say, how can you hear that? But I get it now. I'm mature enough. I've been through that enough to understand it. A lot of people say, oh, I do this, I do that. Be happy for everybody. Be happy for them. That's their gift. Your gift is you, unique. And that's what makes you who you are as a person. So whoever and however you're developing, keep going. Keep going. Whatever book that feeds your soul, that's the one for you then. I thought I had to learn all the crystals' name. I love crystals. I have no idea.
It's funny that you say that, because I've been reading now for a while, and it's only been in the last maybe 2 or 3 years that I've gotten into crystals. But I have like maybe my top 5 that I actually know what they are and what they do, but I couldn't tell you more than that. But I love them. So it's funny that you say that, because I see a lot of psychics and healers and things like that throw off all these, such and such crystal does, and I'm like, you're speaking
I don't
another
know.
language.
Yeah. And I thought that if I was going to do this job, I thought, oh my God, I have to know all these crystals for if they ask me. I was stressing. And then that's, I remember a mentor, a very old person, said to me, actually, it was more my mother or someone along those lines, they said to me, your gift is your gift. You don't need to learn everybody else's because we are unique. And whatever, the universe, spirit has given the gift, that is the one that you carry on, whatever feels right for you. And that's when I started worrying about crystals.
Exactly, me too. I want to give you Natasha's question. Natasha's asking, tell us more about your experience with your platform mediumship. So I want to know more about when you do platform mediumships. I haven't actually done them yet myself. So I would love to know what's it like when you're up on stage, and are you just getting like all these messages, and just tell us what happens.
All right, the first time, yes, okay, and I've always shit myself. I am an anxious person. I get a lot of anxiety, okay? So I'm going to make that clear. It's okay to have anxiety and be a psychic medium. So every time I do a platform, of course I shit myself, and I go, my God, I hope the right spirits come, okay? And I'm anxious, but then I start saying my meditations. And what I do is I say, rightio, guys, whoever's meant to be coming, stay next to your loved ones. You are not allowed, I put the rules, you are not allowed to be all over the place, all over the shop. We're going to do this professionally, nicely, and we're going to have a good time. Woo, you got it, guys? And that's my way of doing it. And I do this. I go, right, guys, we got this. Ask Dan. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, shut up. I'm getting connected, and I'm on stage. If I look at the people on stage, I can't do it. All right. So when I go back and do my meditation, I go on stage. It's like a person, and I'm dyslexic too. So I say things back to front, inside out, upside down. Okay. I can read and all that. I'm borderline. So if I say the man came the man, do you know what I mean? So it's the other way around. When I'm on stage, oh my God, I'm somebody else. I speak properly. I say things right. I say funny little things. I'm like, it's not enough. I want to keep going all night. That's how it is. It's like I'm possessed or something, but something good. Nothing to do with
in a good way, obviously.
But it feels so natural. It feels so natural. And that's a good question. I actually relax now when I'm on stage.
Okay, yeah, that's a good natural thing. I love that. We are sort of coming to the end. There are so many more questions. I know. Can you believe that?
No.
People are absolutely like, you'll have to go back and you probably are seeing the comments, but you'll have to go back and read. People are absolutely loving yourself. They're loving the show.
So and
I just want to, we send the love back out to you. So thank you to everyone that has been watching tonight. We are going to slowly wrap up here. We've got a few more minutes left. But I just want to thank everyone. Yeah, go for it.
That this Saturday, if you are here in Brisbane, this Saturday, May the 24th, I'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Brisbane Spiritual Church. If you haven't been, it's in 228 Boundary Street, Spring Hill. Now, I belong to that church. It is, and that's where I learned to develop my platform mediumship, actually. It is fantastic. It is a Healing Day Expo, and all the oldie mediums are there. Did I just call myself oldie? That's all right. I look good for my age anyway. 53, Michael.
53 years young at the end of the day. Like,
I know, right?
It's wisdom, it comes down to wisdom. What's one bit of advice that you can give all our viewers right now before you leave? What's one thing that you can say right now to everyone to take away?
Don't be hard on yourself when you're opening to this beautiful gift that you've got. I need you to really enjoy your journey. Enjoy it, because it's not that hard. Like, when I say that hard in the sense like, but how do I do it? How do I do this? I get it. I was there. And when I learned to slow down, I went, oh, is that all it is?
And I think too, it's important to 100%. I think it's important to note that people watching may necessarily not be in the psychic or in the field, but it is just general advice to take, that whether you're a psychic or have the gift or not, just in general, just just believe and trust and slow down just as a human.
Absolutely. And look, when there is trust, there is faith. When there is faith, there is hope. When there is hope, there is a little potential of you to start manifesting. When you manifest, you're actually opening a portal called law of attraction. And it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, the good old law of attraction, isn't that a fun little topic?
We are the walking law of attraction.
And I think we forget how much that works, like how much we put out, we actually get. A lot of people go, oh, why am I always broke? Why am I always this? Why does this always happen? Well, because you're constantly focusing on it.
Yep. Why? Stop why. The universe is not always...
Stop asking.
Just go with it and go, all right, I suppose so. This must be it. But you can change it. Like, you can't change some things, but you can change things. Some things. You can change what you're going to eat tomorrow. You can change your clothes. You can change your mind. But you can go around changing what was. And that will also help you to move forward and start opening new gates for you to start learning things. How can I say new beginnings? Like, you know what? There's more to life. There's more to worrying about, oh, he didn't call me back. Fuck you. I'm going to keep living life with your phone call or not your phone call, because this is about my journey. Did I just swear? I am so sorry, Michael.
It's okay. We'll edit when we go live.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realise I said that.
But it's the passion. I love it. It's the passion.
My shows are very similar. Sorry.
So are mine on a Sunday night. So that's why I allow it. But it's okay. We'll have you on again. It's fine. And trusting, just on what you were saying, it comes back down to trust.
Let go of your fears and start trusting the journey. Just the things you can't do, don't wound about it. So if you're getting into this amazing field, enjoy the journey. And I'm telling you something else, Michael. Not everybody is going to understand your journey. So you don't need to share your things with everybody, because some people are going to go, oh, really? Oh, that's so interesting. And you're going to feel like, oh, they don't get me. Of course they're not going to get you, because your spiritual journey is here and they're not ready. So you worry about you growing. And sometimes it's called what's it called? The silent achiever.
Got to watch out for those. They're the good ones to look out for, because the ones that are screaming and making all the noise, I don't pay attention, because it is just noise. But the ones that you don't hear about, they're the ones to watch, because they're going to do some amazing things. And if you have taken anything from tonight, I hope you have, or I know you have, because you've commented that you have. So that's fantastic. Now, apart from obviously the phone lines through Psychic TV, people can connect with you. How else can people reach out and be able to, just connect with you?
Thank you, Michael. Well, obviously you can connect through this beautiful program, Psychic TV. I'm not always there, but I try my best when I can. You can also reach me on my website, which is cmediumship.com, or Facebook, which is Chantal Miranda. I'm so, just Chantal Miranda, not Miranda, just Chantal Miranda. Or spiritual counselor, psychic medium, Chantal Miranda. Or you can see me this Saturday at Spiritual Church. I gave you the address and everything. So it's if you're here in Brisbane, Queensland, Brisbane, we're going to be from 10 to 3 p.m. It's called Healing Expo, and I'll be one of the readers there as well.
Perfect. I just want to say to everyone, Madeline, Lisa, Anna, Veronica, Sue, there are so many of you that are watching right now, Kathy, Tracy, Natasha. I just want to say, you've been writing some beautiful stuff. I'm not able to, I'm not ignoring you or not reading out your messages on purpose, but I just want to acknowledge.
I'll read them after the show.
And but I just want to acknowledge that I have been reading them, so I am seeing you. So I just want to know that you are being seen. You are being, well, maybe not being heard, but you are definitely being seen. So I thank you for all that. We're here every Thursday at 8 o'clock, Miranda. Thank you, Chantal. I just called you Miranda again. Because you know what it is.
That's I'm right,
reading
Peter.
I'm reading. No, it's Eric. It was no Dave. No, because I'm reading the bottom.
Oh, it's Eric. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm reading the bottom, and I see I see
You
Miranda
saw just
first,
the
and I
last
see my
bit,
name.
Miranda.
Yeah, and then my brain goes, "Oh yeah." But no, Chantal, thank you
You're
so
lucky.
much.
I love you, Erica. I mean, Michael.
I love you too, beautiful. Thank you so much for being tonight, for
Thank
sharing
you
your
for having me.
story. Are you able to jump on the phone lines at all tonight?
Yeah, I can go on. I can jump on for an hour.
Yeah, so if anyone is watching and would like to read with you, I'm sure there are people who would love to do that. Chantal is definitely going to be on the phone lines for a little bit. We'll have you on again soon. But again, I truly am appreciative of your stories and everything that you've shared and the stories and the education. So again, like, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you and good night. Bye,
Good
everybody.
night. And thank you to everyone that has been watching tonight. I am back next Thursday night at 8 o'clock with the Mermaid Medium. The Mermaid Medium will be joining me live next week. Of course, you can catch Harry this Saturday. Same place, same time, 8 o'clock on Saturday night if you would like psychic readings. We have our Saturday night show as well. So definitely if you would like a reading, that's what Saturday's for. I'll be back next week, 8 o'clock on Thursday with the Mermaid Medium for some more insights. Thank you to everyone that has been watching. Thank you to your questions. Like I said, I have been seeing them, so thank you. Chantal has said, and like we've talked tonight, trust yourself, trust your intuition, be kind to yourself, take off the pressure and expectations of yourself. And until then, just be kind to yourself. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.